Iowa's been one of the best states in the nation for voter accessibility, and this is another avenue of making it easier for our citizens to participate in the process. And through interagency cooperation between my office and the Iowa Department of Transportation, we've developed an online voter registration portal that Iowans can access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from any computer or mobile device with an internet connection. And as it said, it was launched January 1st. And this was created with no additional cost to Iowa taxpayers. We were able to build it on the back of the systems we already have. The process is a very simple one. Anyone with a state-issued ID or a driver's license can now register to vote online. Underscore, anyone with a driver's license or a state ID can register to vote online. One unique aspect of this system is that it is a true electronic registration system. A lot of states now claim that they have online voter registration, but their process still requires the voter to fill out some type of paperwork that is mailed to them. And Iowa is one of the very few states where the entire process is online. Electronic voter registration is one more step in the process towards making voting more accessible to Iowans. And I'm proud to say that Iowa is one of the nation's leaders in voter access. We offer no excuse absentee voting. Iowa is one of only 11 states that allows voter registration on Elections Day. Our 40-day early voting period is one of the longest in the nation, and New York is the only state with longer Election Day voting hours than we are. We also point out we have legislation proposed this year that will extend absentee voting for our military even further out because of their being stationed in isolated areas. So we're even going farther than we have to date. By instituting electronic voter registration, we now have six different ways that Iowans can register to vote. They can do it online, they can do it by mail. Third is at driver's license stations. The fourth is at various other government agency offices. The fifth is they can take part in a voter registration drive. And sixth, they can register at the polls on Elections Day. And frankly, there is a seventh, and this is one that I'm very committed to, and that is our office will make ourselves accessible and available to help anyone who needs to be able to register to vote, no matter what their hurdle might be, as long as they are eligible to vote in Iowa.
We're pleased to partner with Secretary of State to offer voter registration as the first online service by another government agency that takes advantage of our online service portal and our existing identity verification process. Over 250,000 Iowans have used the Iowa DOT's online services portal for driver and vehicle services. And now any Iowa driver's license or ID holder, regardless of whether they drive or not, will have a convenient way to register to vote, update their address, or change their party affiliation any time of day or night, and from any location or device with internet access. The portal offers an established and secure way to assure the person registering to vote is the person they claim to be, and the connection to a driver's license or ID record allows the Secretary of State to associate an individual's digitized license or ID signature with their voter registration application, which was an important deliverable to the Secretary of State to effectively implement a complete voter registration transaction online.
At this time, be happy to take questions if we could. Questions you might have, comments. We're going to promote it aggressively. That's why I said earlier we're going to reach out to both the Democrat and Republican Party and to those groups who normally do voter registration drives, because this is an excellent way to do it, because it takes some of the question mark out. I don't know if any of you looked at your own handwriting, for an example. It gets extremely challenging sometimes to read the forms when they're filled out, but by going online and tying into what the DOT already has on file, we get better quality. We're going to know you're getting the right addresses, and the names and spellings and everything is much more accurate. As I mentioned earlier, we have seven if you count our personal commitment, ways to register to vote. So there's no one who's left behind. I can't think of a single incident where there's not one of those options, or one of them will work. One of them will work. But we're trying to make it more convenient. That's what we're really talking about here, is convenience, not accessibility. There is access. Now we're just talking about how convenient can I make it for a group or a person. Our system here is extremely old, that this office has, and we are put together a pretty aggressive technology request to upgrade it. Because we work very aggressively on programs and on outreach to all those groups who have various disabilities or have access issues. We all work harder, both at a personal level and as a government, to try and take the barriers down, to try and make it more accessible to them. And we work closely with the Department of the Blind. Where there's technology, we're trying to bring it in.
There's absolutely no disability-related reason that you couldn't have one or the other. There are very many people who have a disability of some kind that are still eligible to drive either with or without certain kinds of restrictions or accommodations. But for anybody that still needs an identification document, there's absolutely no disability reason that they would be excluded from that. We do have folks that have difficulty reaching our offices, and much like the Secretary of State talks about with vehicle registration, we will go out to those folks and personally appear and help them with those transactions. And in fact, we added a vehicle we call DOT to Go that's an RV that is a traveling location, so that's giving us another way to create outreach opportunities. We've had a couple years under our belt with online driver's license renewal, and we're seeing very healthy adoption across all segments of the population, and I think that just pushes to the adoption rate of mobile devices.
Mark has mentioned the DOT is prepared to come right to your home. I think that's curbside. We're there, so I think we're off to a good start.